Hello everyone. In my last video I showed you my version of a mini Hulkbuster based on this set Lego 76104, and this time I want to show you something else. Um, if you've seen Age of Ultron, the movie, Avengers movie, you know that Hulkbuster is typically normally stored in a satellite, and when he's needed he gets deployed and gets turned into a giant robot. So I thought, hey, I wonder if I can turn my mini Hulkbuster into a satellite or something that looks like it. So without further ado, here it is. Here's my mini Hulkbuster satellite. I know it doesn't look anything like the satellite Veronica in the movie, but I thought it still looks pretty cool. It puts the entire Hulkbuster, and indeed the whole thing is here. The helmet piece is hidden inside, as I'll show you later. It puts the whole thing into a very compact package, kind of rolls them up into a ball, so to speak. And I thought that just looks pretty cool as a build in its own too. I thought it looks like a tank. It looks like a tank or a locomotive. It looks stocky, it looks powerful, and there's plenty of details all around as well. And I will show you how I made it. Okay, now I'll show you the transformation. First of all, we gotta get Bruce Banner out of the way, and I'm gonna pop the arms off like so. I'm gonna pop the chest piece off like so, and the rest of it. So here's the entire chest piece of the Hulkbuster. Now we opened up this chest cavity for the helmet to hide in, so I'm gonna bend the helmet down like so to hide it. Actually, excuse me, I need to move this piece as well because otherwise the helmet wouldn't bend all the way down. There we go. Now the helmet is all the way into the chest cavity. In order to store the arm pieces, I'm gonna take them and clip them to the bottom of the toes. Like so. The toes are surprisingly quite tight, which is a good thing actually, so they don't fall off easily. Okay. And then this chest piece I'm gonna put on top like this, and I'll just bend the legs in like so. Put the fingers out of the way. Alright, some final adjustments, and there it is. Haha. If you look at it, it really has transformed quite a bit. It looks, it has elements that remind you of the Hulkbuster, but it looks nothing like it anymore. If anything, it looks like Mark 7 when it was being deployed in the movie. It's just this bulky red thing with a glowing blue piece on the front. So I thought it looks pretty good. It really kind of rolls up the Hulkbuster into a ball, kind of, in a very compact fashion. So I can believe that, this is a satellite floating in space. So what I just showed you was kind of the basic transformation. But there is a more detailed version. So if you look at the back of the model, down here, it's actually pretty hollow right here. It'd be nice if I can close this off a bit more. Fortunately, there is a way. So what I do is bring Vic into the picture. If you saw my last video, Vic is the little repair bot. He's part of the whole Hulkbuster set. So here's what I do. Vic has these nice round slope red pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach Vic to the back part of the whole satellite, and he'll really close off that hollow back part very well. So here's what I do. In order to make the attachment points for Vic, I'm going to have to make some modifications. First of all, this piece has to go, and I found a place for it right beneath the helmet. Let me regain access to that cavity. I'll move some pieces around like this. Oh my, things just falling apart. Don't worry, it's Lego. Okay, so this piece that we were talking about earlier can go right here, and it just hides beneath that helmet perfectly. There's just enough space to hide that piece. Alright, so now I've cleared up these studs, I can use them to make an attachment point for Vic. So I'm going to borrow some pieces from Vic. I'm going to borrow some pieces from here. Put them together like so. Alright. Okay, now I've made this attachment point for Vic. You can see it's sitting on 4 studs, so this whole thing is pretty stable. The helmet too is kind of clicking into these 2 studs back here, so it's also resting very nicely. Now that I look at it, let me move the grill pieces. This is actually how I usually have it. There we go. That's even more stable. Okay, so now I have these nice attachment points for Vic, 4 studs, very stable. I'm gonna just clip them in like this. And here's that little extra piece I'll just put on top to round out this gap here. And the chest piece can go back on top as well. Like that. I'll bring the legs back in. And there. The Hulkbuster satellite again. Looking very nice on the side. But more importantly, this back now is much more enclosed and looks much more finished that way. I think it looks very nice, but I'm biased, of course. If you look all around, there are plenty of repulsors everywhere. Big ones down here, big repulsors for it to move around if it ever needs to travel. And now this is a satellite and it's just for storage mainly, but if you ever need to sneak a person in there, like the pilot, Bruce Banner, there is a little space down here. You can put him in a sitting position and clip him in like this. And he gets to spend a little face-to-face time with Hulkbuster itself as well, if you look at where the helmet sits. Alright, so the legs come back together. So this whole thing, is really quite compact. It's pretty remarkable. The round dome helmet piece is nestled from every direction, very nicely, snugly nestled in there. And look at how nicely that pilot fits. I mean, there's just very little gap everywhere. Everything just nestles in very nicely. So there you have it, the Hulkbuster satellite mode. And if you ever need to land this thing, suppose you somehow went to the moon or brought it back down to Earth and you need to land it somewhere, you can do so as well by manipulating the feet here. And this movement right here really makes use of the toe joints. You can see these are the toes right here. These toe joints are really responsible for this movement. The toe joints were so underutilized before, and now they're really being used. So by flaring out the fingers a little bit, we can use them as landing gears. So there, a very stable landing. I'll pick it up so you can see it from the side. Very stable landing gears, so you can think of it as like a moon lander. The Hulkbuster went to the moon and landed there. You can also think of it as like a cannon, with this cannon on the front, and there's very good, very smooth angle adjustment. You can think of it as a cannon. You can also turn it into kind of a rover, cause it to move around, because there are all these joints down here that we can manipulate. I can flare these out a little bit, and there, now it's a rover, just roving around at low speed, like so. With the repulsors down here, of course, you can move around quite easily. Oh, one thing to note too is the dome piece is protected at all times. Even when I flare out even more to this flying mode. That's the flying mode. You can use these articulations to put it however you want. I thought that right there looks good. Just a Hulkbuster flyer. If you look at the Age of Ultron movie, when the Hulkbuster was first deployed, when it first came out of the satellite, there's a shot where he's flying along with Iron Man, and from a distance it really did look like this, look like a flyer like this. You'll have to look it up in the movie, or maybe I'll leave a link or something, or a screenshot. So this is I would say a pretty respectable flyer. It looks pretty good. When it's in flyer mode though, it can't be put down because it's gonna land on the pilot's head, so that's not fun. I'm gonna move the pilot out of the way and maybe put him back here. That makes much more sense. He can be piloting the flyer from the back. And even with the flyer, the pilot removed, when you put it down like this dome headpiece is still protected. This is such a nice custom print that's unique to this set. I definitely don't want to scratch it up. So even when you move the pilot out of the way, and even when you move Vic out of the way, this right here, if you put it down on a flat surface, the helmet is still protected, which is very nice. So you can also just detach Vic and let Bruce Banner just ride on Vic like this alongside the Hulkbuster flyer. Okay, let me just put everything back into satellite mode again, so we can take one more good look at it. Excuse me. Okay, so the legs just fold in like so. Oops, that was out of the shot. Yeah. I'll put Bruce Banner in the little hiding place down here. I'll keep the landing gear out. I like it landed. So there it is one more time, the Hulkbuster satellite. Doesn't look a thing like the Veronica satellite in the movie, but I'm still quite happy with how it turned out. How it just rolled up the Hulkbuster into such a compact package, and by itself I think it looks pretty good too. Thanks for watching, guys. I wish you a blessed day.